Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town of Waukesha Town Board and Public Hearing. Town Board meeting and public hearing on November 13, beginning at 7:01 p.m. I'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we can begin with a review of the proposed budget. Madam Clerk, do you want to take that?
Sure. In your packets, I have laid out the proposed budget for the 100 fund, which is our general fund. It comes to $2,623,595.27. I'd say balanced budget between the revenue and the expenditures. We have the fire inspection and prevention budget, which is our 240 fund, and that budget is $113,616.84. Also another balanced budget. The 300 fund is our debt service fund, and we have we pay $2,757 for our digital radio service with the county, and we've been paying that off for 10 years. That's what that debt is for. 0% interest on that. Our 400 fund, which is our capital fund, we have placed $400,000 of the tax levy in the proposed 2019 budget, with total revenues and expenditures of $1,919,612. $619. The tax levy. So the tax levy for last year was $1,645,594. The proposed budget, proposed tax levy, is $1,656,244, which is an increase of $10,650 or 0.65%. Our tax, our mill rate for the town in last year was $1.82, and again the proposed is $1.82. If you take a look at the increase on a house, our average house is assessed at about $200,000. You would see an increase in your town tax of 18 cents.
Thank you. Any questions for the clerk, treasurer? Then we can go on to number 3. Procedures at the public hearing shall be conducted as such. Chairman will read the notice of the hearing. Chairman shall then call on those persons who wish to speak for the proposition. Each person willing to speak for the proposition shall give his or her name and address. Each person speaking on behalf of the proposition shall be limited to a reasonable amount of time set by the board. Chairman shall then call on those persons who wish to oppose the proposition. Each such person wishing to speak in opposition to the proposition shall give his or her name and address, and also shall be limited to a reasonable period of time. Any person wishing to speak in rebuttal to any statements made may, with the permission of the chairman, do so, provided, however, such rebuttal statement shall be limited to 3 minutes by any one individual. And when the chair is done with his or her discretion is satisfied with the proposition has been heard, he or she shall announce at the fact that the hearing is concluded. On to 4, according to section 2-3-14 sub C, set a reasonable time for each person to speak. If there's no objection, I would make a motion that would be for 3 minutes a person. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Electors that would wish to speak in favor of the budget, please.
That's what you're calling for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good evening. Sandy Hom, West 230, South 3827 Milky Way Road in the town of Waukesha. Excuse me. I was unable to follow along exactly where you were, Kathy, but I have looked through this rather thoroughly, at least the versions as of Tuesday and stuff, and I pretty much understand. We've been through this before, and I totally believe Section 2314, but it's hard to know whether you're singularly opposed or singularly in favor. And I had some questions, so if questions aren't going to be entertained either by a response or later by a response, then I'm done. In general, I am in favor of the budget, but there were some things that when I looked through it, that were confusing, and so I just wanted to ask about those. They're the obvious things. I mean, all I did was go through the detailed worksheet, and when either a number is really big or the percentage change is really big, it draws my attention. And so there were 3 or 4 items where that was the case, and I was just wondering if there was an explanation. But if it's just a yes or no, I'm in favor. So,
okay.
Done?
Thank you.
Yeah.
One at a time, please. Anybody else? Then those wishing to speak opposed to the budget. Going once, going twice. Then we can move on to closing the public hearing and move on to the town meeting. Notice was given that on Tuesday, November 13, 2018, immediately following the public hearing on the 2019 proposed budget, a special town meeting of the electors will be called pursuant to section 60.12 sub 1 sub C of the Wisconsin statutes by the town board. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we can approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of 2017 special town meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
And a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And on to adopting the 2018 town tax levy to be paid in 2019 pursuant to section 60.10 sub 1 sub A of the Wisconsin statutes. Is there a motion to adopt the 2018 town tax levy?
Motion. I'll second.
And your name and address for the clerk? Or name for the clerk?
M-U-I-S-C. West 234, South 3220, Sunset View.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then did you get? Done. Yep. And any discussion?
Just for clarification, I mean, I know it's adopting. That is adopting the tax levy of the $1,656,244. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And a motion to approve the 2019 highway expenditures to exceed $5,000 per mile pursuant to section 82.03 sub 2 sub A of the Wisconsin statutes. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And on to public comments. Seeing none, we can move on to adjourn. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe this is the chance I have to ask a question. Sandy Hom, West 230, South 3827. Because we've we're adding the position of an administrator. I just was wondering what line that increase in pay was. There are so many sections that show salary and wages that I wasn't sure, you know, whether it was general government or where it was. So I had that question. There was a lot of moving around of legal fees from different categories to other categories compared to the year before. One section 51200 goes up 30%, and yet town legal fees goes down 20%. So I'm assuming the number is going to be close to the same. I'm just wondering what machinations took place there and why. See if I have one more. Oh yeah, and then no, that's been answered. It showed that the liability insurance was going up from $14,000 to $20,000. It was a 48% increase. I was wondering why that increase was so substantial. The planner went from 20. These are based on the numbers I saw, 20 to 27. So I didn't know if we were doing some more planning. And I think it looked like road work was not necessarily up compared to what we're spending, but up compared to budget by quite a bit. And so I was just looking for information on how those decisions were made and what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. It's public comments. I don't know that we're allowed to. Good evening.
Betty Paget, South 57 West 22641, Woodside Court. I think the minutes of the last town meeting have an error. Under read the notice, it says November 7th, 2018. And I think you mean it to say 2017. Am I correct? I'm looking at the town meeting minutes from last year.
Page 2 of 2.
In the very first sentence, I think there's an error. And since these are kept on file permanently, we would not like to have an error.
I can make that change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Then is there a motion to adjourn the town meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And a second? I missed Ed Paget. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And once again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town of Waukesha Special Town Board meeting on November 13, 2018, beginning at 7:15 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Merrick?
Present.
Supervisor Fisher?
Here.
Supervisor Wolf? Supervisor Radke?
Here.
Supervisor Durr?
Here.
And Madam Clerk, have we met the opens meeting law?
Yes, we have.
And we can begin with discussion possible action on the 2019 capital budget. Is there a motion to approve the 2019 capital budget?
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2019 capital budget.
And a second. And discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to the 2019 general budget. Is there a motion to approve the 2019 general budget?
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to the 2019 fire inspection budget. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, do we need to take roll call votes on each of those?
Yes.
Let's back up to the 2019 capital budget. Supervisor Radke, you made the motion, and Supervisor Wolf, you were the second. Is it okay if we take a roll call vote on your motions?
Absolutely.
Madam Clerk?
Supervisor Radke.
Aye.
Supervisor Wolf.
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Supervisor Durr.
Aye.
Chairman Merrick.
Aye. And to the 2019 general budget, Supervisor Fisher, you made the motion, and Supervisor Radke the second. We'll be taking a roll call vote on your motions, if that's okay.
Sure.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Supervisor Radke.
Aye.
Supervisor Wolf.
Aye.
Supervisor Durr.
Aye.
Chairman Merrick.
Aye. And on to the 2019 fire inspection budget. Supervisor Fisher, you made the motion, and Supervisor Wolf, you made the second. We'll be taking a roll call vote on your motions, if that's
Yes.
okay.
Fine.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Supervisor Wolf.
Aye.
Supervisor Radke.
Aye.
Supervisor Durr.
Aye.
Chairman.
Aye. And on the 2019 debt service budget, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the debt service budget for 2019. Second.
And thank you, Larry. And Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Supervisor Radke.
Aye.
Supervisor Wolf.
Aye.
Supervisor Durr.
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Chairman Merrick.
Aye. And is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.